Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. Today, I want to tell you the story of the spookiest Halloween I've had, maybe ever. Hint, I might be losing a ton of money. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Josh and I'm a certified financial planner and I run an independent wealth management business. Now, what does Halloween or being spooked out have to do with any of that whatsoever? Well, I have to tell you guys this story. It's unbelievable because on this channel, I want to keep you updated and bring you through my experiences as an investor, somebody who invests in real estate and invests in stocks and has their own business, and that's what this is all about. And I think it all starts just this past weekend on Halloween, when my girlfriend and I, Alana, who you might have also seen on the channel, we decided to go to a Halloween party. And lucky enough for me, I was able to convince her to do this. She is definitely an extrovert, but she didn't know anyone at the party really, and it was my party. And it was me that kind of got invited with a +1, so we were all excited to go. If you're wondering what we dressed up as, we went as Pretty Woman. I don't know if I've seen the movie. I've probably fallen asleep watching it a bunch of times because she urged me to, and then I got so bored that I didn't finish it. But all that being said, it's essentially this story, I believe, of like a prostitute who finds a billionaire and they end up having a relationship. So bring it up with her why we went as that, but she seemed to already have the costume. It was easy enough for me to put on a suit, whatever, okay? Not that big of a deal. So it starts at a pregame, of course, as all good parties do. It might actually be the highlight of the night, pregame, but anyways, that's besides the point. I'm at my buddy's house with Alana and we're having a few drinks. All right, I'm gonna be honest, we're having a few drinks, maybe more than a few, and we're having a fantastic time. We're planning to have a fun time on Halloween. That's what it's all about, right? So things are going along, we're having a fantastic time. Uber shows up, we get in the car and start flying down the road towards the ultimate party destination where we're going for the evening. And while we're there, we're having a great time, we're laughing, we're joking, we're getting excited, and all of a sudden I realize, oh my goodness, I have like a bunch of missed calls. I have like 3 missed calls. So I look at my phone and it's one of the tenants from my rental property. And this is immediately like, shoot. Because tenants from my rental property at least don't really call me unless there's an issue, and especially because like I really do prefer texting with a lot of people. And I'm like, okay, if my tenant really needs to get a hold of me, they're gonna text me. And so I click it and I'm absent-minded. It's late at night, okay, I'm dressed as a freaking, I'm in a costume, all right? I'm not gonna respond to anything right now. And then I get a text, and I get the text that is the bane of every landlord's existence. It said, oh my God, we have a serious problem. You need to get over here. And I thought, no, not now. I'm about to go to a party. Are you kidding me? Now, this is the crazy thing about real estate investing, guys. We talk about real estate all the time and how real estate is kind of this in-between between, like investing pretty passively, like owning a stock index fund, or starting your own company, which is like you gotta work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Investing in real estate is kind of in that middle ground where it's not totally passive because there's certain things that you have to do to make sure the property is okay, but it's also not like running your own business because you're not there every single day, you're not there even every single week. But all that being said, things tend to strike at the worst possible times, and this is where we were. So I get out of the Uber and we've arrived at the house and I say to my girlfriend Alana and all my friends, hey guys, sorry, I can't go to the party right now. I got an issue to deal with. And they're like, what? That's ridiculous. Come on, blah, blah, blah. Come on inside. It's okay. And I'm like, no, there's actually an issue. I gotta go. So I get back in the Uber and I say to the driver, hey, I know you probably got other rides to do. How about you say, cash under the table, I'll e-transfer you right now. Tell me how much you need for me to get from here to the inner city of downtown where my property is, and how fast can we do that? And he says $40. And I go, $40? That's like a $10 Uber ride. You can't be serious. So I'm like, I'm in a panic, had 6 drinks, send him the transfer, done. He drives me downtown. We're going towards the property. And the whole time I'm just thinking, no, this can't be good. This can't be good. And I get a video on my phone. And I'm like, no, my tenant sent me a video. And I look at the video and it's just, well, this. That's right, in the middle of a Saturday night, water starts pouring through the ceiling of my tenant's duplex. I mean, there's a main floor, right, and there's an upper floor above it. And it appears that there is water gushing through into the tenant's unit, like right in the middle of their kitchen, where they would normally like hang around. I mean, it's not that massive of a place. It's like from anywhere you are in the apartment, you're gonna be able to see water flowing through the ceiling. So I'm like, well, this is no good. And I'm freaking out because obviously in your mind, at first, whenever there's a major issue, it's almost as if your mind just overreacts, whether it's good or bad. Nothing is ever quite as good or as bad as it seems, but in the moment, it seems pretty terrible. And I thought, wow, I'm already starting to do the math in my head. Is this going to completely wipe out all of my gains in this property for the year? Am I all of a sudden going to have to pay $3,000? Is this going to be $10,000? Is this a massive plumbing issue? Is this going to be $30,000? Who knows? And your mind goes into overdrive. But I get to the party and I show up and I've kind of forgotten I'm in a Halloween costume. And I show up to the door and they're looking at me like, what are you doing? Like, why are you dressed like that? And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I'm so sorry. I just came from a Halloween party. Let's just get over it. What's the deal here? Let me help it fix this. So I get inside and it's not raining outside. So that's really good. That means water's not coming through the roof into the house. Okay, not raining, check. What could be next? Well, let's just shut the water off in the house and see what happens. So I go down to the basement, find the main water valve, shut it off. And oddly enough, the sinks and everything stop flowing, but the water from upstairs doesn't stop flowing. So I think, okay, this is great because it's not a plumbing problem. If the water is off in the house and water's still coming through, it's not like there's been some massive plumbing explosions. That eliminates that. I mean, the roof isn't leaking because it's not raining, so it can't be that. So then I knock on the upstairs unit and all of a sudden, you know, the tenants from upstairs come down and they're like, oh yeah, we noticed there's water on the floor. Like, we don't really know what that's about. We've been mopping it, trying to clean it, but we're not really sure where the water's coming from. And my bullshit radar just goes to 10, like, and I'm like, there is no way. You have no idea what's going on. So I go up there and it's just completely dry. Like, there's nothing going on. But like, oh yeah, this whole room, our bathroom was completely flooded, which is like right above where that would have been happening in relation to the main floor. And I look around at these guys and say, are you sure? You have no idea what's going on? And even after I left the property, I'm like, are you guys sure you have no idea what's going on? And it just seemed to me like maybe there had been some shenanigans going on the top floor. But all this being said, eventually the water stops coming through because there's no more leakage. And the reality is that one of the rooms upstairs was just completely flooded while there were 3 people there. So my mind starts going, okay, what the heck have these guys been up to that they flooded this thing, but I don't want to stick it on them. Mind you, like, I couldn't do 8 plus 8 right now in this state that I was in. You know what I mean? I'll just put it that way, okay? I was having a great time. And so we get everything sorted. I'm trying to have an amicable conversation with the tenants, trying to let them know, guys, it's going to be fine. We're going to get an emergency crew in here. They're going to make sure this is habitable and livable, and it's going to be great. Don't you worry. Just bear with me for a couple days. So now I've realized that there's been shenanigans going on upstairs for sure. The main floor tenants who are salt of the earth, so wonderful. I've shut the water off. There's no more water leaking through. Like, okay, I've done what I can do here. I'm gonna get some emergency plumbing or, you know, contracting crew to come in here and try to sort this out and fix it. So I'm like, okay, time for me to go. So I leave and actually go back to the party. That's fantastic. What's the real kicker? What makes this the spookiest Halloween of all time? Well, it wasn't the fact that my ceiling caved in. It wasn't the fact that I was in the middle of a party and I had to leave it. It wasn't the fact that I showed up to this place looking like a clown. It was the fact that I remembered on the way back to the party that I had received an email from my insurance company about a week before. And I remember thinking in the midst of, you know, YouTube and business and trying to have fun, I remember just filing that off to like a folder in my emails where I'll answer it later when I have like a moment of just unstructured time. And I'm like, wait. So I go and I look into my emails and try to see what the insurance company said. And they said to me in this email, hey, your roof is now too old for us to be able to insure your property. So we're gonna need for you to either replace your roof or prove to us that it's been replaced in the past 5 years, or we're not gonna insure your house anymore. So a week before my ceiling caves in with water damage, my insurance is void. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? This, guys, is real estate investing. And if you're not sure what I mean by this, this means that whereas before an insurance company would have paid for this and I would have just paid a deductible, now whatever issue is in my property is going to be completely on me. And that will for sure wipe out a massive portion of any cash flow gains I've had from that property for the entire year of 2021. So all that being said, why did I really tell this story? What's the lesson here? Well, you know, I think that I've learned a ton from investing in real estate. Do I regret it? No, I think it's brought me a lot of wealth. But the problem is that I have so many young people who want to get started in real estate investing and they say, Josh, how do I get started? And they're like 19 years old or like 22 years old. And they're not necessarily on the best financial footing yet. And this is what I keep coming back to over and over. Yes, real estate is a fantastic investment because you can leverage the bank's money to multiply your return. That's essentially what you're doing. In the grand scheme of things, stocks can way outperform real estate, but the fact that the bank will give you 80% of the value of a home as a mortgage and you can leverage the return on the property, That's massive. That makes real estate a fantastic, really concentrated bet and a leveraged investing vehicle. The problem is that you need to be well capitalized and you need to be really conscientious. You need to be a certain type of person to handle real estate investing, because as you can see in this example, this didn't go overly well for me, and now there might be thousands of dollars, not just for the damage to the water and the seepage through the ceiling, but I'm also gonna need a new roof. So over the last week, I have realized there's probably $15,000 to $20,000 worth of work, and I mean, I might be overestimating on the high end. But all that being said, guys, is there's gonna be $15,000 or so worth of work on this property that just comes out of nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. And you have to make sure that you are well enough capitalized to be able to take care of those things, because if they sink you, then the entire property is over and done with. So anyways, guys, that's been my story on my Halloween experience and some of the lessons I'd really like to just exude on young, new investors who want to be investing in real estate. It is absolutely imperative that you're mature, you're conscientious enough to look after a property and make sure that things are in the right order. And lastly, making sure you're financially stable enough to manage issues when everything comes crumbling down, like my ceiling, at once. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got some joy or some fun out of hearing about my real estate woes. And maybe you can learn something that you don't have to learn on your own because you learned it from me being a stupid, silly head. Stupid, silly head. Nice.